In today's episode, we will be discussing the Resident Evil 4 Remake Chainsaw Demo. Now, I've had the opportunity to play this demo about 5 or 6 times, I believe. And honestly, this demo and this game coming out is like the Super Bowl to me. I was anticipating it. I basically cleared my schedule for it. Had an amazing time and an experience with this demo. My first overall impressions with this demo is I was blown away. I really like how they fleshed out the story of Leon at the beginning. Kind of went into Resident Evil 2 and everything he went through in that game and the trauma he's experiencing and going forward with now. I think that's really interesting and adds a lot of depth, especially to the beginning of the game. It's not so just rushed and kind of thrown into the action, basically. Also like how they expand on the first cabin you come across, where you meet the first Ganado who's infected. I really like how they're fleshing out everything and just expanding everything. I know this game is going to be huge by the amount of gigs it is. I don't think a lot of things will be cut, and even the things that are cut, I think they'll be very insignificant. I think all your main key points are still going to be there. I'm really excited for this one. It could potentially be Game of the Year. Now, I'm not entirely sure if we saw the entire intro. I don't know if parts were cut out of that. Any of the interactions with Leon's partners, the 2 other police officers. I'm not sure. But I really like how they fleshed out that sequence, gave more of a backstory with Krauser, and how he trained Leon and how Leon became the badass that he is in RE4. Now, on top of that, I love the expansion they did with the first cabin where you encounter the first Ganado. I mean, that's literally like a whole house now compared to just like a tiny little cabin with a random window. And yeah, anyways. But I really like how they expanded that, and they are just going all out with these environments. I think we got a glimpse of everything we're seeing with the Village. I think Village was kind of testing out some of those ideas with the environment. It was overall just an amazing experience, getting to walk in that world again and seeing how faithful it is to the original while still having its unique twist. I also think the Ganados look great. They're going to be a lot more aggressive in this game, especially with your ability to parry.
Oh, nice.
And block attacks. They are going to have to ramp up the volume with the horror and just the intensity of the game overall from the original. I think you're just going to get swarmed. I think they're going to be very tactical against you, and you're going to have to use everything at your disposal to get through this game, including items, including the parry. Upgrading your knife, I think, is going to be very key throughout this experience. Now, once you make it past the Ganado and the house and the opening sequence, and you start to make your way to the village, once you actually get to the village, shit gets real. And we've all experienced this before in the original RE4. You know, you see your partner get basically burnt to death. You actually get to watch it this time, so they expanded that experience as well and really fleshed it out. And then you just get right back into it. You can loot a little bit before you begin, just like in the original, and then bam, shit is on and they are coming at you. It's basically the same original sequence from the game, but they have ramped up the intensity. I really am going to stress that fact. And I'm a little bit nervous, as I always am with these experiences, because I don't want them to push the line too far in the action realm. I know the original RE4 was an action-based horror game as well, and it's where the franchise started to shift. And that's also what makes me a little bit nervous about this. Overall, I'm very excited. I just hope they keep it core and keep that campiness that was involved in the original RE4. Movement feels great overall. The running does feel a little bit different compared to the RE2 and RE3 remake. In this game, Leon has the ability to basically strive from side to side, and it's almost like a dodge mechanic when you run. And then you also have your parry attack, which is the ability to block or parry like the chainsaw, which is badass. Let me show you a clip of it right here. The movement is my slight harp with this game so far. It feels closer. I don't want to say RE6 because obviously you can't jump around on the ground and, you know, roll on your back and jump on your back and do headshots and stuff like that. But we are kind of entering that domain again where you have this extra ability. The run seems like it's a little bit faster than the RE2, RE3 remake, and I almost wish they had those. I'm old school, so I kind of like the tank control feels and how those feel with that modern edition of like RE2, RE3 remake. But I do understand with the mechanics of this game what they're trying to do, and I'm excited for that next level of the RE experience, and I think that's what we're going to get with this remake. Just going forward, I want them to not kind of push it further than that, because I don't want to get back to that spot we got to with RE6. I have to talk about the music for a second too, because it is just really that good. It is so intense, especially in the chainsaw battle.
Let's see you climb this.
In the village, it's just incredible. It puts you on edge and it does its job. Really looking forward to hearing the other music in the game and the save room. Of course, is always a highlight. The save room theme, what do they got? We have to talk about Dr. Salvador because he's basically the star of the show with this Chainsaw Demo, which is rightfully named after him. He's just as badass and gruesome as he was in the original. He's even ramped up his intensity. And the ability to parry his chainsaw attacks is so badass. And he has to like start up it like stalls out the chainsaw. So you have an ability to shoot off multiple headshots on him, throw a grenade at him, whatever you want to do. But he's basically stunned for a short period of time after you do the parry attack, which I think is really unique and really cool. Also tested out going up in the clock tower, and it collapses, and I fell down and got killed by Dr. Salvador, which was badass. I'll show you that clip right here. Make sure you check out this demo if you haven't already. If you have a PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox, it really doesn't matter. This thing's going to run great on everything. It looks great on everything. I'm really impressed with the RE engine in this game. I think this is kind of their peak so far. They're hitting their strive in, and I'm really excited for the future and what they have to offer. Will this be the best remake ever? We will see. I think it has a very good opportunity. I think right now RE2 has that title for me, the RE2 remake, slightly over the RE1 remake. So it's a tough category to crack. I think it could definitely surpass one of those. I'm not sure about both. I think that's all going to depend on your personal preference. A lot of people grew up, Resident Evil 4 was the first game they played of the series. It was not for me. The first game I ever played was actually the original, the second one, and the third one was the first one I actually beat on my own. So RE3, the original, will always be my favorite, and I have a soft spot for that, along with RE2, because RE2 is just a classic, and the one we probably played the most as a kid. The one that I go back and play the most now, I would say, is the RE2 remake. Will that overtake those other remakes? Will this game overtake those other remakes? We will see. But it definitely has a damn good shot. Thank you so much for tuning in to this review and my thoughts on the Chainsaw Demo for the RE4 Remake. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you do too. Hope you play this demo. If you haven't already, make sure you pre-order the game or pick it up. It's going to be incredible. You won't regret it. I'm right now going to say this is potentially going to be the game of the year and my game of the year. But we'll have to see. Thanks for tuning in. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out as a small channel. And consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.